Hello everyone. So in this lecture we will be discussing about the tabulation approach, and we will be looking at how to optimize our recursive solution or recursive Fibonacci problem with the help of tabulation DP. So if we look at the code over here, what do we see? That this is our DP table which we will be maintaining, but there is a very important distinction between memoization and tabulation. Memoization always starts with the top-down approach, whereas tabulation always starts with the bottom-up. And what do you mean by bottom-up? By bottom-up, we mean to say that the first thing we fill in our DP matrix is our base cases. So what were the base cases which we were having? We were having a base case of Fibonacci 0 and Fibonacci 1. So we will be filling in the base cases or the solutions to these two values, and then we will start moving up in our tree, hence bottom up. And what we did in our memoization approach, we came top down. Now coming on to the code, so the first thing we fill in our DP table is our base cases. So we will be filling our Fibonacci 0 over here. My DP table 0 means that what is the solution to my Fibonacci 0? It is 0. So we fill 0 in our DP table. And what is the solution to our Fibonacci 1? It's 1 again. So we fill a 1 over here. Now we will start from our second index. And what we will say that, okay, just tell me that what is the value at my Fibonacci 2, and how do I calculate my value at Fibonacci 2? By adding a Fibonacci 1 and Fibonacci 0. So currently I am talking about this subproblem. So what do we see over here? Fibonacci 2 is equal to Fibonacci 1 plus Fibonacci 0. So it would be 1 again, because Fibonacci 1 is 1, Fibonacci 0 is 0. So 1 plus 0 would be 1, and Fibonacci 2 is 1. Then my I became 3, and what would I be implementing now? I would be implementing for Fibonacci 3. Currently I am at this subproblem. So what is the answer to Fibonacci 3? That would be the addition of Fibonacci 2 and Fibonacci 1. The same thing I am doing over here. So what do I do? What is the value of Fibonacci 2? It is 1. What is the value of Fibonacci 1? It is again 1. So what would be the value of Fibonacci 3? It would be 2. Hence I get a 2 at my Fibonacci 3. The same way I would be recursing for Fibonacci 4 as well. So at Fibonacci 4 I will get a value of 3. Then I will go for Fibonacci 5, and at Fibonacci 5 I will get a value of 5. And this was my intended solution, because what I was recursing for, I was recursing for Fibonacci 5. So I am done with my DP table in this case. The answer to my Fibonacci 5 is my index, the value present at index 5 over here, and that is actually 5. So what do I see? The Fibonacci 5 number is 5. So this is the way we implemented our tabulation method. So now can you see how, with the help of dynamic programming, we just brought down our runtime to linear? And how did it actually come to linear? Now what were we wasting time in the recursive problem? We were actually again and again computing all these subproblems. So for the first time, where did we ever see Fibonacci 1? We did see over here. Where did we see Fibonacci 0? We saw it over here. Where did we see Fibonacci 2 for the first time in our recursion? We saw it over here. The same way we first saw Fibonacci 3 over here, Fibonacci 4 over here, Fibonacci 5 over here. So if we just store the values of all these items, do we ever need this part of the tree, of the recursive tree? No. And hence this is one of the most important points, that the more we encounter overlapping subproblems during recursion, more the solution becomes efficient with the help of dynamic programming. And by efficient we mean to say our runtime becomes efficient. So all these base cases or all these subproblems were actually again and again computing, but we already had an answer in this one path only. So if we could have solved all these problems present in this path of the recursive tree, then there was even no need to solve all these subproblems. And that's what we did. That's what we solved in the case of memoization, and that's what we did in the case of tabulation. So the more subproblems we have, overlapping subproblems we have, the more efficient our solution becomes. So all these were actually overlapping subproblems. We could have already implemented them earlier when would have reached all these subcases. Now when I would have reached Fibonacci 3, then I would have already done it over here, Fibonacci 3. When I would have done Fibonacci 2 over here, then I would have done already Fibonacci 2 over here. So all of these were overlapping subproblems, and hence I brought down my solution to linear. So I think by now you would have understood that how did we bring our exponential runtime of the recursive Fibonacci to a linear runtime Fibonacci with the help of dynamic programming. So there are some key steps to solve a problem using DP. The first step is always to implement the solution using recursion. And the second step then would be to identify the recurrence relation, such as in our case it was Fibonacci n-1 plus Fibonacci n-2. In the third case, we need to look out for the optimal substructure, that can the solution to the whole problem be implemented using the solution to all of its subproblems, and if then yes, so we do have an optimal substructure in that case. Now the fourth step is to identify overlapping subproblems, and if we do have overlapping subproblems and if we do have optimal substructure, then yes, we can surely optimize the problem with the help of dynamic programming, and then we can either take the top-down approach or the bottom-up approach. It's a matter of choice. So again, in the next lecture, now we would be looking at a problem in which it might seem like that we can optimize it with the help of dynamic programming, but actually we cannot. So we will have a look at the distinction of these kind of problems so that we can get a whole idea of that how actually what actually DP makes use of, and how do we actually optimize the problem with the help of dynamic programming. So if any of the concepts till now are not clear, so I highly recommend you to just rewind the video and get them cleared out. So till then, thank you.